Thousands of children and families in Marion County struggle with issues like poverty, substance abuse, or mental and emotional illness. Many local services exist to help families in crisis, but families often don't know about these services or can't get to them. Unmet needs can result in child abuse, neglect, or juvenile delinquency. The Early Intervention Planning Council, through the Marion County Commission on Youth's Early Intervention and Prevention Initiative, has created a plan to give families earlier access to services in the hopes of reducing the number of children who get abused or neglected or turn to delinquent acts. We hope you enjoy our monthly program, Our Kids, Our Families, Our Communities, and learn more about the local services here to help you.
Hello, my name is Shana Martin. I'm the director of the EIP initiative at McCoy. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Our Kids, Our Families, Our Communities. Today, unfortunately, summer is coming to an end much more quickly than we'd like it to, and we're going to start talking about back to school and how to get kids back into a routine, how to get involved as parents with the school, how to help kids that may be having a challenging time in one of their subjects get tutoring and support. So our guests here today are here to talk about all of that to help you get your kids ready and to help you get ready for back to school time. So we have Tony, who's from the Rose Holman Tutoring Hotline, and then we have Sandra, who's from IPS as a parent involvement educator. So I will let you two introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm Tony Karras. I'm the Assistant Director of Outreach and Planning for Rose Holman Institute of Technology's Homework Hotline. And what I do is I go to the professional conferences. I was in about 200 schools last year raising awareness of our free math and science tutoring program for Indiana students in grades 6 through 12.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being here. We'll talk more and learn much more about the hotline and how folks can access it. So thank you.
And I'm Sandra Webster. I am the Parent Involvement Educator for IPS. I'm with School 88, Anna Brockhausen School 88. What I do is I help the parents be advocates for their students, show them how to start routines to get their students in a routine of bedtime and homework and different things like that, so that they can be a voice for their student when they come up to the school. And that's basically what I do.
Okay.
Help the parents.
Okay. So let's start with what advice you give to parents as we are starting to transition into the back to school time of year. What do you tell parents about how to, get rid of those summer schedules? It's time for school. How do you start to get your kids back into a routine? What are some helpful hints?
Well, we need to get them back to bed on time.
Okay.
And at a reasonable hour. Between 7 and 9 at least, they need at least 10 hours of sleep. Because when they don't get enough sleep, they're really cranky, and the behaviors show at the school and during the school time, and it's hard to get them back on track once they're just kind of cranky. And so we ask them to get some sleep, a routine that they can follow. As far as brushing their teeth, everything should be a routine that they should know that it's time to wind down and get ready to lay down. And then to, read. They need to read. They need to be reading every day. Even on weekends, they want to take a break on the weekends. No, you need to read every day, even if it's just reading the signs in the community or the ingredients on a menu or any type of thing. Just have them read all the time. And so just to get them back to where they were so they won't lose out when they get to the school and be behind all the other students.
Okay, thank you. And we had another episode previously where we talked about during the summer activities that you should be doing with your kids, and reading was important. How do parents help get their kids into a sleep routine, going back to bed on time? What are some things that you can kind of tell them to do specifically to help kind of with that transition?
Inform them. Let the student know, let the children know that, okay, your bedtime is 9 o'clock. Then remind them at 8:30, okay, you're going to bed in 30 minutes. And then in 10 minutes before bedtime, okay, let's get your teeth brushed, take your bath or whatever it needs to do to get you in that routine, and they'll get in the habit. If you do that at least 7 days straight, they will just, start to do it on their own, and say, okay, it's bedtime. Because I know my son, he does it. I have a 4th grader, and he does it. He gets to the routine. He looks at the clock. He says, "No, Mom, it's only 8:30." I said, "Okay," but he knows when it's bedtime, and he gets in that routine.
good. And establishing that makes it, like you said, a lot easier. The more we establish that routine for the kids, then they know what it is, and there's not the fussing and the arguing. It's this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be every night. And in some cases, including Friday and Saturday night. It really is best to keep kids on as much of a schedule as possible.
And at least a week, wouldn't you say, prior to school starting? I try to get my kids in that routine.
Yeah, in the routine. And to take those that technology away. At least stay away from the TV at least an hour before they have to go to bed, you know, so they can wind down, because it gets them so excited and just a lot of different things that can give them a lot of different nightmares and different things like that. It can wake them up in the middle of the night if they just seen something on TV, you know, so at least wind down for about an hour before bedtime. They're doing something like coloring or reading or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when I tend to start reading before I go to bed, it puts me to sleep much more quickly than watching TV.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I got 2 pages and I'm done.
Yeah.
So Tony, tell us a little bit about tutoring and how parents can get help. You know, your kids go to another grade, they start bringing home homework, and you're going, you know, they've reached that grade where I just can't help them anymore, and I don't understand what they're doing. And
Well, Rose Homeland's Homework Hotline started in '91. For students in Vigo County, the Terre Haute area, actually started tutoring over the phone for parents who needed help with their kids' homework, and it usually starts when letters start creeping into math problems, that individuals, parents start having problems with homework help. So what we did was we've now expanded the Homework Hotline to over the phone, email now, and you can actually real-time chat with us at askrose.org. So you can email a question in, or you can actually instant message a chat question in, and all the symbols are there on our website. But as far as local tutoring, usually there's after-school programs and community centers that will help students and parents with homework and homework help as well.
are there particular subjects that you tutor in, or?
With our Homework Hotline, we're basically math and science. We're the #1 engineering school in the country, so I probably wouldn't call us for English help.
Okay.
But for math, any math and science help, we can help with anything. And usually, about 80% of our calls. Last year, we took about 26,000 calls. 80% of those calls were algebra calls.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
They're starting algebra pretty early.
Yeah, they can creep in 5th grade. Now 6th graders are actually doing some algebra now as well.
But can you have the parents that are like 3rd and 4th graders?
Absolutely. We haven't turned down a call, email, or chat since 1991 when we started. And actually, we have 3rd graders that call that do their multiplication tables. So we have parents that call. We get calls from every state in the country and pretty much every county in Indiana.
Wow.
So we do have parents that call as well.
Okay, to get some assistance and
Absolutely.
guidance. Okay. Do you give answers, or what's kind of the
We
process?
work the student through the problem. We reinforce the math, science concepts that are taught in the classroom. So we don't give answers. Actually, we have teachers that call to see if we are giving out the answers.
They're testing
They're
you.
testing us. So yeah, absolutely, we have parents that call.
Okay. Okay.
Nightly.
Good. Good. Well, that's helpful. I have one who's going into 5th grade, and I think she's almost extended past my math skills. I'm a social worker, so we don't do numbers. So definitely will have your number listed, so she'll be giving you a call. So how do you tell parents, or what resources, either locally or within the school, for parents who may be struggling, who need help in other subjects, reading, science, whatever it may be, social studies? What advice and resources do you provide?
Well, the first thing they can do is ask the teacher.
Okay.
The teachers usually will stay after and do tutoring for the students if they need it.
Okay.
But the parents need to get involved and let them know, okay, I need my child to stay after for some tutoring. And we need to know, okay, will you pick them up
Okay.
at 5 o'clock or 4:30 when it's over? The teachers don't mind
Okay.
doing it. They'll do it, you know, and because they want the students to succeed. And so that's the first thing they can do. Other things, they can seek tutoring from, we send home flyers in the backpacks and things. We need parents to open those backpacks and read the information that's in the backpacks. That is one of the biggest forms of communication that some schools have is the backpacks, but they come back to school with everything still in the backpack. So we just ask the parents to open those backpacks and look at the information, and they will be amazed at what they can find in there, the help that they need, where they can go, who they can call, what is available to them for to help the students succeed. So, yeah.
And if parents have low literacy levels or are unable to read, which may be some of the reasons why they don't open the backpacks, can they call the school and talk to you and ask you
Yes.
weekly, like, what is going on, what are resources, what do I need to be aware of?
Yes,
You know.
they do that, and I do have parents that are like that. And we also offer them programs where they can get the help that they need to read as well.
Okay.
And we had a student, first grader. Her parents didn't speak English, and she was going home. She's a first grader. She was trying to read things to them, and it was getting pretty rough. So the teacher started teaching the parents how to speak English, and so that helped. So it's just a lot of things that the teachers can do to help them, and also to inform the students, excuse me, I'm sorry, about what they say to the parents, especially if they're not able to read. Some of the students will use it to their advantage. So I have them, I said, well, I'll just call. So I call. I'm calling all the time, calling the parents, sending out connect-eds. That's a form of communication that calls all the phone numbers, and have them call me. So I make it personal for them and inviting, so that they won't feel intimidated, to come in. So I have a lot of parents coming in all the time for help.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
So what are some other routines that we need to be working with parents, and parents need to be working with their kids to get ready to go back to school?
You want to go first?
Going back to the sleep, when you said something that that made me think about my own kids, that if they don't get 10 hours, it's a bad morning, and it actually could be a bad day. Like you said, reading and nutrition as well.
Yeah.
It's important to eat a dinner and then a solid breakfast in the morning to keep going, and like you said, just starting before school, maybe a week prior to school, is getting back into the school routine. I really like what you said about reading, and just reading billboards and things of that nature, and getting your kids to do that. So that was very interesting and powerful stuff as well.
Yeah, and also a lot of the students that are in IPS, we have completely free lunches and breakfast. We give them breakfast and lunch because a lot of them are going home without food. And so we do have a program that we also give them back sacks so that they have meals over the weekends through the gleaners. And but we do have the breakfast, and because it's so important that they start out with the breakfast, and we have a nutritional lunch for them. Some of them, they really don't understand the nutritional value of broccoli. They just think it's gross.
Yucky.
Yeah. And so we try to teach them as well, what the nutritional value of the vegetables and just not just the meat, just taking the meat out the bread and just eating the meat. They're like, come on, eat it all. But and also we try to they wear uniforms. If they do not have uniforms, we want them to be as comfortable as possible when they come to school. I have a uniform bank at my school that I established because we have a lot of students coming in, transitional students that go from one school to another, or homeless and things like that, and they just don't have the clothes. So I have the uniforms at the school. All they have to do is come up and ask, and we'll equip them with uniforms. We just want them to be successful. And so we want them to get in the habit of just knowing that that's a safe place to come to. It's a school, and we've got their best interests at heart. We love them, and we love on them to let them know that you are somebody, and we want you to succeed. And here is a belt. Okay, you're supposed to wear a belt. Here's your belt. We have all those, but we also take contributions as well. Because we are a school that is in uniform, so we take uniforms, even slightly used uniforms. We take those, and we just recycle. And we are a recycling school too. We teach the students about recycling. We have a recycling program. It's just a lot of things that the students will be involved in at the school once they get there, and just getting them to that point to where they welcome the ideal of going back to school. It's just, get them in there, and just to teach the parents, just letting them know that, we're here for you. We're not against you. We want you to come to the school. We want you to visit. We want you to be a part of their educational journey. So we ask that you do come. And I don't even know if I got off the subject.
No, that's
I just get so passionate
I
about
was going to say, you're sharing a lot of good information, though,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
do.
And
I
I
just
think
love
it's
them.
good for parents to know that schools are welcoming environments, or working hard to be welcoming environments, and
Yes.
want parents to be engaged and involved, because that's really important, and it's important for
Yeah.
students to see that. I know my kids love when I come and show up at school, even
They
if it's just to drop
do.
something off or pick something up, or I'm, come to lunch every once in a while, but they just get very excited about
And
that.
they do
so.
better.
Yes,
They
they
really
do.
And it's important that the parent gets into the routine as well. You mentioned looking in the backpacks. I got to admit, I am guilty of not looking in the backpack. My wife got on me towards the end of school because my daughter had an assignment that, I just shuffled off, and okay. But yeah, the parent needs to get into a routine as well
Yeah.
to get the child off to a good start and throughout the year.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm guilty of that
Yeah, I
sometimes
know.
too. Yes, my daughter's learned to just take it all out of her folder, and she just puts it in the middle of the kitchen table. Like, Mom,
know.
remember?
But at least they do that. Some students don't. They just take the backpack off and set it down, and there
And
it
that's
sits
it,
until the
yeah.
next morning. But if the parents were like, okay, where's your backpack? Or even if they, like the older students, just go and look in the backpack and see what's in there. I mean, I don't think that it's against the law to look in your sixth grader's backpack.
Certainly is not.
You'd be amazed at what's in there.
You might
And
surprise
it
them.
opens up communication with the student and the parent. And it's all about communicating.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So what about those after, now that we're kind of talking about looking in the backpack and stuff, we've talked about morning, we talked about good sleep, so what about the after school schedule? Because it is as much hard work for parents as it is for kids. So what should families be doing together when school is out and when we get home? Like, what are some good routines? When should studying take place? When do we do homework? When's the best time to call the Rose Holman line? What?
Personally, my routine is I like to get our homework done immediately. And then once that's, snack first, homework, and then we can go out and play some ball or do something recreational, get some activities in. And then later on in the evening, you can call the homework hotline. We're open 7 to 10 Eastern time, Sunday through Thursday, September through May.
Okay.
So that's later on in the evening. But personally, I like to get my homework in, snack, and then some recreation.
And usually when you do that, the student, I keep calling them students, that's what I just refer to as children as students. The students usually do better if you do the homework right after they get home from school. Then you can know that it's done, and they can go out and play, and then you don't have to worry about it when they come back in. And if they have some trouble with something, okay, then call homework hotline at that time once you come back in, and get help with that 1 or 2 problems that may have stumped you. But to do it right after school is a good idea. Get something on their stomach and let them see the kids playing outside, so you can't go out there until you finish your homework.
And then parents should check and make sure that it's
That it's
that it's
done.
finished. I have a
Yes.
child who rushes through her homework, so she makes silly mistakes and it gets a little sloppy because it's in a hurry. So we're working hard on do it right the first time so that you don't have to spend extra time trying to redo stuff that you know the
Yes.
answers to and you know how to, but you're just rushing through it and I can't read what this says and it's very sloppy and you half erased stuff
wow.
and so yes.
You're in my home.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I was going to say, I imagine that there's lots of parents who experience that. So, as a matter of fact, I told her going into 5th grade, we're going to set a timer and spend, X amount of minutes is your homework time. So, even if you get it done in 15 minutes, if your homework time is a half an hour, then that gives you an extra 15 minutes
To check it.
to go back, to
Yes.
check it, to review it, to read something ahead of time, whatever it may be. But that's your time. And so, you know that's what you have to do during that time. So, there's no need to rush through it.
But homework is so important because it's like an extension of the school, and it's the parents, that's when they're call to duty, so to say, for them to go in there and just help them, you know, as far as, and then you have the homework helpline helping you, especially if they don't know how to do it. And they say, well, let me find out, even if they don't tell the student that they, that they know who the homework hotline is, and they can go get the how to do it and then come back in there to be the hero. I mean, it's all kind of ways parents can use to get that help if they need it. They just don't have to depend on the school. They need to use other resources. Yes.
And teachers, and like you said, I know, you know, teachers are always willing to help, but that takes communication. That takes for the parents to say to the teacher, you know, my child needs some help, and I would like for him or her to stay after school, and for the child to kind of take it upon themselves to recognize when they need help too.
The teacher really knows which child needs help, and so they usually reach out to the parent, and when they can't contact the parent, they'll call me, and usually I'll go and, you know, make the phone call, and I have a rapport with them. I can speak to them differently than the teacher does, and they'll look at me differently since I'm not the teacher, and they'll feel more comfortable to talk to me. So that's what the teacher is really that first line of knowing what the child really needs as far as homework and help. So.
So Tony, how do folks find you and find you as a resource and all of that?
We have a website, askrose.org, and we're launching a new website this fall. So please check us out. And our phone number is 877-ASK-ROSE, 877-275-7673. So check us out from September through May.
Okay. Great. And you said 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. is
7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Yep.
And are these college students that are answering the phone?
Yeah, the Rose Holman students, and they're paid through a grant from the Lilly Endowment.
Okay.
So we usually have about 40 tutors in the evening and about 4 supervisors. So we can handle about 200 tutoring sessions an evening.
Is there any wait time?
There's maybe a little wait time, maybe a minute or so, and then the average tutoring session is about 12 minutes.
Okay.
So do you have to ever cut anybody off? You know,
no, they'll stay with. We've stayed with students for a half hour, sometimes, and work them through their problems.
So can they get the same tutor?
Yes, they can ask. Yeah, they can ask for the same tutor. We give out first names, and they can ask for a tutor.
That's nice.
And we also translate into Spanish as well.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Great, and that's great that you talked about the fact that parents call.
Sure.
I like, you know, I think that's really great too. That not
anybody
just a student,
can call. Anyone.
And any grade?
Any grade can call, but usually it's the 6 through 12 that call. We have graduate students that call.
Okay.
From Purdue, really.
Wow.
So, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
You weren't supposed to say that.
Anyway. But yeah, anybody can call. We haven't turned down a call ever.
Okay. And I know that you're the parent involvement educator.
I'm the PI.
For one school, but as a parent that has an IPS student, are there parent involvement educators in each IPS school?
Yes, it is. In every school, there's a PI. There's a parental involvement educator. No matter what school you go to, just get in contact with that PI person, and they can help you. They have supplies, we have backpacks, we have everything that they would need to be successful in school, whatever they need, so that they will not feel different from all the other students, because that's a big thing with the kids when they come in. They want to make sure they feel the same, that they don't look different, or they don't have the right backpack or pencils and things like that. So we have that stuff that the parents can supply it.
And I imagine that there's something similar in every school system where there are resources for parents, or a parent, what they used to be called parent liaison, or a parent educator, or whatever it may be, a resource to help parents to be able to do the best that they can to help their students. So
yes, we have a parent resource center in the schools, in each school, and the parents are welcome to come in, and we can help them with homework if they need the help. I've helped numerous parents with 4th grade homework because it got to the point where I don't understand this. What do you do? And even after I finished with them, I'm like, okay, call Rose Holman. hotline. This is as far as I can go.
Good deal.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for both of you for being here on the show. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all the information and the resources that you've shared. This is very helpful. It's always a great reminder for me as a parent on things I should be and should not be doing so much of. So just really appreciate it, and thank you so much. So, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Our Kids, Our Families, Our Communities, and we look forward to seeing you again next month.